A lot of people ask the question why the children are suffering, why the innocent children are suffering. In the last few years, we have been watching in our living rooms, on the TV, children starving and dying in Africa. And a lot of people are justified in asking why the children. It is very important to point out that when we side with Satan's point of view, we move ourselves and our families out of God's kingdom into Satan's kingdom. We and our families become constituents in Satan's kingdom and subject to Satan's incompetence as a temporary God. This is why the children are suffering. On the other hand, the suffering and death of those children is actually a blessing in disguise. When we study the scripture carefully, we realize that these children are going straight to heaven. And it is indeed a blessing for them. They actually do not die. They move on from this life to a much better life. The chances of those children growing up and making the right choice, siding with God's point of view, the chance is very nil that they will do that. And it is far better for those children to die now and go to heaven than to suffer for a long time and then end up not making it and ending up in an eternal hell. This brings us to a very important item in this episode, the unforgivable sin. You see, at the end of our term in this world, at the time of death, murder is forgivable. Adultery is forgivable. Stealing is forgivable. Lying, cheating, all these are forgivable sins. There is only one unforgivable sin when maintained until the time of death. This one unforgivable sin is idol worship. We fully appreciate now why idol worship is the only unforgivable offense. Because now we realize that the whole idea behind our existence, the whole idea behind creating us, is to provide Satan with the constituents who agree with his point of view, that God alone is not enough, that there can be other gods, other idols besides God. The grossness of idol worship can be appreciated when you remember what I mentioned earlier in this program, that this planet Earth is a tiny, tiny component in God's kingdom. Remember when I mentioned that the planet Earth is 93 million miles from the sun, that the light from the sun to the planet Earth takes 4 minutes to reach us? 93 million miles from the sun to the Earth. And this is a very tiny distance when we think of the whole solar system being something like 4 billion miles across. And you can see the planet Earth diminishing in these vast distances. Now, the light comes to us from the sun in 4 minutes. But from the edge of our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, the light takes not 4 minutes, not 4 days, not 4 years, not 4 centuries, and not 4,000 years either. It takes 30,000 years for the light to travel from the planet Earth to the edge of our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy. Can you imagine how tiny the planet Earth is in the Milky Way galaxy? And I mentioned that before. our universe contains 1 billion galaxies, like the Milky Way, and distances up to 26 billion light years. From the sun to the planet Earth, the light takes 4 minutes. If you travel at the speed of light, you reach the sun in 4 minutes. You reach the outer limit of the Milky Way galaxy in 30,000 years. You reach the outer limit of our universe in 26,000 million years at the speed of light. So where is the planet Earth in our universe? It is almost nothing. Now our universe, as I mentioned, is one of 7 universes. The other 6 are much larger universes, if you can imagine that. So the planet Earth is terribly insignificant. Now, on this tiny, insignificant planet Earth, a man named Muhammad walked for 63 years. All his life, from birth to death, was 63 years. On this tiny, insignificant planet Earth, there was this human being, Muhammad. And millions of people around the world idolize him against his will. Can you imagine the grossness of this idol worship? On this tiny, minute, insignificant planet Earth, a man named Jesus, a creature of God, walked on the earth for 33 years. So how significant is he? How significant is Muhammad? And you can imagine, you can appreciate the grossness of idol worship when people idolize creatures of God like Muhammad or Jesus or Mary or the saints who walked on this earth for a limited period of time. And this planet Earth, as you see, the whole planet Earth is terribly insignificant. So now, with the study of the scriptures and the physical evidence supporting it, we come to appreciate that the only unforgivable offense is idol worship. God is holding the 7 universes in his hand. And we see now that our purpose in life to be successful is to side with God's point of view that he alone is enough. God describes his greatness in the scriptures for us to appreciate God and to see that he alone is Lord. And to see and appreciate the grossness of idolizing anyone else. The definition of idol worship, by the way, is that if you believe that anyone other than the one who created you can benefit you, then you have fallen into idol worship. This is the definition of idol worship. If you believe that anyone other than the one true God, the specific one who created you, if you believe that anyone other than God can benefit you, then you have fallen into idol worship. I am sure you realize that we cannot cover these heavy subjects in such a short time. I have shared with you the ideas about the King of Chaos. We know now who the King of Chaos is. We know why the world is full of miseries, famine, wars, oppression, disasters, accidents, cancer, etc. And we dealt with the most important question in anyone's life, the purpose of our life. Why are we here? Why were we created? And because these subjects are so heavy, I am sure I raised more questions than answered. And this is why I hope you will get on the phone and call me with your questions. Don't hesitate to ask. My phone number is area code 602-791-3288. 3989. I am going to put the address and the telephone number on the screen for you. So please write or call. My address is 739 East 6th Street, Tucson, Arizona, 85719. And the telephone is area code 602-791-3989. Thank you and God bless you.